welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be creating this eye look using the new JACLYN Morphe Volume 2 eyeshadow palette. I asked you guys if you want to see a comparison video on my Instagram. So I compared this palette, the Volume 1 palette, to the Volume 2 palette. Obviously the packaging is a little bit different, but the colors in the second palette are a lot more bold than they are in the first palette. So the first palette is, oh my god, this is so big. Hold on. Okay. So the first palette, it's definitely more user-friendly and for the everyday makeup artist, and then the second palette is bold. There are so many bright colors. It's good for people who love experimenting with color. When I first looked at this palette, I was, to be honest you guys, I was a little bit intimidated by all these shades, but it also really brought me out of my comfort zone and inspired me to create like this really bold look. I would never put red eyeshadow on, but when I was gonna wear this dress, I looked at this palette and I was like, you gotta do this, girl. You gotta just go for it. If you want to see the review and demo on this product, then just keep on watching. So the reason I'm all dressed up is because I'm actually going to be recreating a look that I recently posted on my Instagram of me wearing eyeshadows from this palette. It's basically just a red eye look. So when I first saw this palette, I already knew that I wanted to dip into this red color right here. So 2 weekends ago, I went to New York for the Makeup by Mario Masterclass, and then right after that, my husband and I and a couple friend of ours, so his cousin and his wife, we all decided to go to Toronto for the weekend. And I only took this eyeshadow palette with me. I didn't take any other eyeshadow palette with me. I wanted to really play with this palette and test it out so I can give you a proper review of it. I used it all weekend long and I did full makeup. I didn't just use the red color. I used a lot of these top shades right here to create neutral looks. So if you're trying to do like a neutral look, you can only use probably like the top shades right here because these colors down here might be a little bit intimidating. I definitely want to dip into these purples and pinks next, but I've been messing around with pinks so much that today I'm going to be doing this red look. Quality wise, I think that the quality of this palette is very similar, if not identical, to the JACLYN Hill, the first palette. So this right here is the first palette. If you are an artist and you take both of these palettes, they both carry pretty much any color that you could possibly need. Okay, so this is Volume 1, this is Volume 2. But in terms of consistency, the shadows are the same. They both are a little bit powdery. It's nothing that I wasn't used to already because I have used the shit out of the JACLYN Hill, the first palette, and the shadows were also very powdery in that palette as well. It has something to do with the colors in it because they're so vibrant. I've never messed around with an eyeshadow palette with vibrant colors that isn't a powdery palette, if that makes sense. When you dip into a shadow, so I'm just going to use a dirty brush that I already have here, and I actually probably used it on a look like this. So I'm just going to dip into this pink shade, okay? Can you see that even? Yeah, you can. Okay, so see how much fallout I'm getting just by dipping into it a few times? That doesn't bother me. I'm sure it doesn't bother you guys, but if you guys really want to nitpick this palette, the only negative that I can say about it is that it has a lot of fallout, but it's nothing out of the ordinary because of the nature of the colors that she has in the palette. Obviously, if you're gonna have pigmented pastels or anything bright and like really bold, you're gonna get some fallout. Even the highest quality eyeshadow palettes I've experienced still have fallout. As long as you know how much you need, like obviously when you go into a color like that, you're not gonna rub your brush into the shadow as much as I just showed you right now. You only need like a dab of it to get color payoff, and you'll see more of that when I get into the demo. First, I'm gonna swatch some of these shades because I'm only gonna be using like the reds and maybe the yellows. I don't know, I'll see. When I was getting ready for that red look, I went from a day to night makeup look, so my daytime look was no shadow, but I had full base on and everything, and then for evening time, when I went back to change and like get ready again, I literally just piled on top of what I already had. In terms of swatches, obviously I'm not going to swatch this entire palette. If you guys want to see swatches, like I'm sure they have so many videos of them, but if I sit here swatching all these colors on my arms, first of all, I'm going to make a huge mess, and second of all, you're only going to see the color, how it looks on me. So I'm gonna just swatch a few of the colors that are speaking out to me. This orange color right here, it's called My Man. So this right here is My Man. Another color that's reaching out to me is this right here, Positivity. It's like a salmon shade. Oh god. See, I'm already making a mess. That's Positivity. So as you can see, like I'm literally just dipping into it, swirling my finger once, and this is the payoff that I'm getting. So these colors are intimidating, and they were even intimidating for me. Alright, now I'm gonna go into, let's see, let's do Stay True, this shade right here. This right here is Stay True. So on swatches, I don't know if you can tell, it does look a little bit powdery, but like I said before, when you have bright colors like this, it's hard to get a formula that's basically creamy and smooth. These are matte shades that I'm swatching, so of course they're gonna swatch like that given the nature of the color. I'm gonna go into the shimmers now. Let's try Get Ready With Me, which is this bronzy color right here. Let me just swatch that. Oh, I'm getting transfer because I'm bending my arm. But that's Get Ready With Me. It's like a really pretty bronzy shade. The shimmers are also very similar to the first palette. To be honest, I don't know, I haven't done research on it, but I think that the formula they used to create the first palette is the exact same formula they used to create this second palette. Alright, let me swatch a couple more shades for you guys before we jump into the demo. Let's try Bougie and let's try Drama Queen. This one right here is Bougie and this one right here is Drama Queen. They're pretty like nude sparkly shadows. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but they are sparkling like crazy. Even the shimmers have the same type of formula. They're not powdery, but they're not that creamy. I don't know if that's just this palette. Let me see if the old palette shimmers are like that too. I haven't used the shimmers from here in a long time. Let's try. These ones don't have names. Actually, I have the older palette, the palette that she released before she changed it to, I think she changed like the cover of it because people were complaining that it was getting dirty, and maybe she added the names in that too, but I have the very original palette. So I'm just going to swatch this shade right here. I don't know what it's called because they don't have names, but I'm just going to swatch that to see the comparison of the formula in the shimmer. So I think the shimmers from the first palette are a little bit smoother than the shimmers from Volume 2 palette. And this is, I'm swatching this gold shade from the Volume 1 palette as well. If you guys see me, I keep looking into the monitor to make sure that it's in focus because whenever I hold up products to the camera, it's never in focus. So excuse me being kind of rude, not looking at you guys. But here's that bronzy gold tone. This is from the Volume 1 palette, so the first JACLYN Hill Morphe palette. So for sure the shimmers in Volume 1 are a lot smoother than the shimmers in Volume 2. And I only swatched like 3 of them for you. Actually, I'm going to swatch one more. I'm going to swatch Talia because this is like a yellow gold shadow that I'm sure will be very popular. This right here is Talia. Let me do one more swatch on top of it because I don't think it's showing up as bright. Yeah, right there, Talia. I'm not sure if it's because of the shades, even though she has lighter shimmers in here too, but they're definitely more creamy than the shimmers in here. I'm not sure. It might be the palette that I have. I'm pretty sure it's nothing that would bother me because, like I said, I've used the Volume 1 palette and I've used the shit out of this palette. I used it on myself, I've used this on clients, and I've never experienced any negative feedback from the shadows in this palette. One thing I do want to mention though, I'm not sure if this palette is talc free or any of that. So if you are into like natural beauty stuff or like good ingredients, that's something that you might want to look into. I'm just gonna give myself a wipe up and then I'm gonna move into the demo. You'll see the shadows perform obviously better when I'm putting them on my eyelids. Alright, I didn't do this when I did the red look, but I'm going to go into No Joke first, which is this yellow color right here. I just want to see how this yellow performs. Obviously, I told you guys already when I actually did that look in Toronto, I had no time. I literally just slapped makeup on top of my face when I already had makeup on. So I'm just putting this into my crease So you can see how pigmented these shadows are. I literally just swirled the brush into the yellow and I'm applying it and it's already coming out so strong. Hit the other eye really quickly. And the good thing about this palette is that even though these colors are so bold and pigmented, they blend out so nicely that if you make a mistake because of the colors, you know, them being bright, you would think that you wouldn't be able to correct a mistake that you make with these shadows, but you can. Because when I did that look, I went ham. Now I'm going into Living My Best Life because I'm living my best life and I want to use this red shade. Like, look at that pigment, you guys. Literally one swatch. It's so bright. And this is actually, well, not this, but when I did the red look 2 weeks ago is the first time I've ever used red eyeshadow on my lids. When I was younger, and you know, like Desi brides, they typically wear red on their wedding days. I would always be so turned off by brides wearing red eyeshadow and red lipstick. So this time when I saw this red shadow in the palette, I was like, you know what? I want to play with this red shadow, but I'm going to do a peachy nude lip and keep the eyes super bold. Alright, so I'm getting some fallout, and with this palette, if you get fallout, you have to brush it off right away because it will stain your face makeup. If possible, don't even do your face makeup first. Into the Morphe M433 brush. As you can see, I already used this brush before for this look. And I'm just gonna blend out the edge. Wipe some off. I always keep a makeup towel with me whenever I'm doing makeup, and whenever they get too dirty, I wash all of the makeup towels separately together so that obviously it doesn't stain any of my clothes. But it's a really good tip, instead of wasting tissue all the time, just have like a designated makeup towel that you could just kind of wipe off your brushes in between use. Alright, so I cleaned it as much as I could. I'm just gonna go back in. I always find that whenever I use my fingers, I get way better color payoff. Another way to ensure that you get good color payoff that doesn't fade away is you can go in with like a white eyeliner or a white base and put that on your eyelids first and then put the color on top. It'll last a lot longer, it'll stick to it better, and you'll get really good color payoff from it. I don't have anything like that. I used to have the white NYX Jumbo pencil, but I think it dried out. But look how bright red it looks. And it is crazy. This palette is definitely not for everyone. This palette is for the bold. This palette is for the girls who are not afraid of color. This palette is for people who are living their best life, okay? That's why I'm using this shade, because I'm living my best life. And now, using the tip of this blending brush, whatever's left on it, I'm just connecting it underneath. I'm just going to use a brush like this and clean up. One more thing now, I'm just going into Temptress, which is the black shade right here, and I'm just going to really carefully place it only in the outer V section. I think it looks more red when you add the black to it. Blend the edge a little bit, drag out the black a little bit. Alright, really quickly, I'm just gonna go ahead and do my eyeliner. I'm taking my NYX Epic Ink eyeliner. I'm gonna do a wing, and then I'm gonna use the Lily Lashes in Miami. This is the Valentine's Day packaging, that's why it's in a heart. But I'm just gonna really quickly do that off camera, and then I'll come back and show you guys the whole final look at the end. If you wanna see a video on how I do my eyeliner, I'll leave a link to it in the description bar below. Be sure to check it out if you haven't already. I didn't do anything to my lower lash line aside from just running a little bit of the red eyeshadow on my blending brush only towards the outer corners. I didn't even put eyeliner on in my lower waterline for this look that I did. I need to do it for my top and apply my mascara, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. With my Bad Gal Bang mascara, I'm going to hit the top and lower lashes. And that wraps it all up. I have nothing bad to say about this palette. The only thing that I mentioned to you guys is that these shadows are a little bit powdery, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. I still highly recommend this palette. The blendability is pretty good. The colors are really good. It takes you out of your comfort zone. And yeah, there's really not much to say about it aside from that. If you guys keep up with JACLYN Hill on social media, you guys know that she had a little bit of a controversial thing going on last year, and this is her first product since that happened, so I really wanted to support her because I feel like she's been through so much last year. But yeah, I'm really proud of her for coming up with this palette, especially with all these colors in it. I hope you guys pick it up and create some bomb ass looks too. If you guys want to see the full OOTD of me in this dress, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, subscribe to this YouTube channel, give me a like, comment down below on a video you want to see from me next, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!